Hey, here I'm in the El-Tahrir Museum in Cairo, the Egyptian museum in El-Tahrir Square. And look at this, look what I found. I'm going back to the temple of HatHor. I think they were using Baghdad batteries for electricity. Or the Parthian, what we call the Parthian batteries, or they're actually electrolytic cells and depictions of symbolic use of energy, electricity. Here we have physical depictions of certain objects here. So what is this? This is metal. This one's maybe iron because we have iron oxide on. It's gone like we've got the rust, so iron oxide on the outside of it. It's clearly metal. We have HatHor's head with the regular pot, and these have you can put things through this, and again HatHor's head. And this one has the live serpent inside, which we see sometimes depicted. It has a terminal on top. And to the left we have the prongs. And these are metal as well. What's interesting is there's no label on this whatsoever. There's no information, nothing. They may have recently put here, I don't know. And then you've got symbolically, you have a blank cabinet here, and you go across here. You have another symbolic blank cabinet. So there's probably a lot more pieces. They brought just these. They probably have a bunch of these somewhere, but they're not bringing it up. They just bring one. They just bring one of these. They bring one of these. They bring a bunch of these. But this is symbolic, and look what they have in the middle. They have the two eyes. There's no writing, but we have to look. I mean, just for example, if we go over here, we have the description. You normally have descriptions in a lot of cabinets. Some of them don't have descriptions, but I think this is one of the most interesting cabinets which doesn't have a description. And we know this is metal clearly. So what were they using this for? And you've got a specific gap, specific amount of gap between each one. These can run through here, and this can go on there, etc. Depending on what this can be placed on top of here, goes inside there or something, or this can go on. We don't know how exactly they were arranged, but these can be arranged in a certain way, and then you would have a like the pot on top of HatHor's head, which I think is a Baghdad battery or electrolytic cell. You have the clay pot or another type of pot, an iron rod. You'd have like an iron rod, just like this. And you'd have an iron rod. You'd surround it in copper, fill it with electrolytic fluid such as grape juice or other juice, and you've got electricity. You make a bunch of them, then you have a lot of electricity. So I think this is clear archaeological evidence of it, that they had the capacity to make some things like this. Because it was reserved for the elite priests of the time. Most of the technology would have been lost, such as when Akhenaten, Pharaoh who came after Akhenaten, destroyed Akhenaten's things, and pharaohs generally sometimes destroy the previous pharaoh's objects and so-called ritual objects. And of course, in the crypt of Dendera in the Temple of HatHor, it was reserved for the elite priests. And just look over here. We know all these are like metal. These may be from different periods, I don't know, but these are clearly metal. And I remember reading a theory many years ago that I forgot which civilization exactly, but people said that they had statues, like metal statues, like over there, and they would electrify it. And that the lay people, the commoners, would not know about electricity, and they would go into the temple, maybe go up to the statue to pray, give offerings, and they would get an electric shock if they got too close, or if they touched the statue, they get an electric shock. And they'd be like, oh, it's a judgment from the gods. And the elite priests of these temples, what were using this, they kept it to themselves. That they didn't want to tell the commoners, and obviously that way the knowledge gets lost easily, because when those priests die, or when the crypt or if the temple gets looted, etc., and there's an invading civilization, those secrets go to the grave of the priest, or there may be another mystery school or cult what takes those secrets and keeps them secret to themselves. But I think this is, like I say, clearly depictions of what we see is symbolic. So we see the symbolic version of it in the crypt of the Temple of HatHor in Dendera. We see the symbolic depictions of it. But here we have literally physical objects that would relate. These are physical objects that would relate to making electrical systems. We have the terminals, we have the iron, we have what would this be? Because copper turns blue-green, right? like copper sulfate can be like the neck of a peacock. There's another thing like we have in the Indian text. It talks about using the neck of a peacock, and we wondered what's the neck of a peacock for so long, and we couldn't figure out what the neck of a peacock was. But the neck of a peacock is actually translated as copper sulfate. So just like in the crypts of dendera, there's many symbolic depictions of electricity. Talking a lot here. Yeah, this room is here where the elevator is. So there's a room that's locked off down there. There's an elevator around here. There's an elevator, and this room is a bit mixed because here's the elevator. So maybe there's a lot more in the basement if you take this to the basement, or another elevator to the basement. And there's no information for this whole room, so it's a mixture of things. You know, Greco-Roman times, so you know you have like the Greco-Roman, and you have like metal objects, and then you have things from like the tomb of Osiris here, etc. You know, these are from the tomb of Osiris. Maybe they were electrified. I don't know, like when they were placed in temples and tombs, maybe we don't know. So it would make him come alive. You know, so symbolically being alive, and you can touch and get electric shock. Don't know. Just this is where I'm getting to a hypothesis here, but that's what I've read some certain temples did many years ago. But yeah, here I am, and I'm glad I found this. Walked all around the museum trying to find something like this, and now I found it. And yeah, they would have a lot more objects like this in the basement, or you know, wherever. They've just placed a specific amount, and yeah, there's probably a load in private collections too. So yeah, here I am. Anthony Manji. Anthony F. So yeah, if you come here. If you come to Egypt, to Cairo, if you want to see the museum, try and find this. Maybe ask them. I might ask them myself if they have any more objects like this, and what is their description, because they have no description. But here we are. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, this is a necklace, right? Oh yeah, sure. You're gonna wear this as a necklace. Amazing. So this would be object 34109. 34109. Let me see this. So yeah, the guide just takes his group and just walks straight past it. You know, this guide over there, he probably knows absolutely nothing about this. You know why? There's no freaking description. So he just took his whole group and walked straight past all of these objects. But he'll go and talk about that thing over there, like, you know, he'll go and talk about like a mummy, like a dead person, somebody's freaking grave. Go and talk about somebody like a dead body in a freaking sarcophagus, yeah? Whatever, we'll talk about some freaking some common Egyptologist thing, I don't know. But yeah, you just see that he's just took his group, completely ignored like one of the best pieces in the entire museum is here. One of the best pieces in the entire museum, because he would have no description. He's got nothing to refer to. And if we say that it could be used for electrical systems, they're like, oh, it's nonsense, you know? Yeah, whatever. Stick to your textbooks, mate. You know, leading people astray, literally leading people astray, just not even looking at it. Walk straight, lead the group straight past it. Fair enough, whatever. These are amazing objects. So 32123. So they're part of the same lot. 32123. 48171. And again, you know, these certain ones have a serpent here on the head, depicting that it's live electricity, or this is you know, we've got gold here, gold plated. So would this have been a gold plated terminal? Because the crypts in the temple of HatHor, dendera, do say to use gold as one of the ingredients. So that was gold plated here. Really interesting objects. So the number on this one is 40493, I think. This is 34109. So they're two separate. And then, you know, the rust on this one looks different to the rust on this one. This is more like iron oxide. This looks a bit different. Or maybe because it's been cut. Maybe. Very interesting. They are they seem like metal, right? This one here, because does that look like rust? Don't know. Either way, if these are not metal, the fact that they've got, you know, holes, we can run metal through them, such as something like this, and put something like this on top, or, you know, some other thing. Very interesting. So I think I'll end the video here. If I find anything more like this, I will obviously add it. Peace and blessings.